It is the 9 o'clock news, local edition on Rock 93.7. This week, sitting down with Freddy Redmon, and we're going a little bit different flavor this week into the gospel area. That's pretty much where you hang your hat.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How long have you been doing gospel music?
Probably a little over 6 years now. I used to play a lot of country music and play all over doing that, but the Lord started dealing with me about some things a little over 6 years ago, and He just started showing me why He gave me what He's given me and how to use it and just how to live my life. And it's just been a great ride ever since.
So you kind of transitioned out of the countryside. So I'm going to guess you stepped away from all the bars and venues. Exactly. Were you in a band or?
Yes, in a few of them, actually, yeah.
Do you miss being in a band?
No, I mean, I still do. We still do band things as ministers, as with the music ministry every now and then. A lot of times it's just, we travel a lot, so a lot of times it's just me and my wife and my 2 kids. And my wife does it with me as much as she can when she's not got her hands full with the kids.
When she's not chasing the young ones.
Right, yeah. But the majority of the time we do it all by ourselves now.
What instrument does she play?
She plays mandolin and bass.
Oh, well, that works out pretty nicely.
Yeah.
So you're mainly guitar.
Well, I play guitar, bass, and a little bit of drums, and I peck around on a few other things. But
so when you're making your music, do you do all your instruments for your songs?
I do, yeah.
Do you prefer it that way, or is it just worked out that way?
Yeah, I like it. I mean, I do a lot. I do my own recording and everything. I have a home studio at the house, and that's where I do all of my music. And but yeah, I enjoy it. It's part of my life. It's just a huge part of my life. I've always loved music. Didn't always know why, but I'm starting to learn more and more why I do. But
and you've drawn inspiration, of course. We were talking about you do gospel, so you do inspirational time music.
Yes, sir.
One of your songs, "A Letter from Heaven," is that where did that come from?
Yeah, that song came about. I have a sister that had a daughter pass away. It'll be 2 years ago this coming September, and she was in a car accident, and they went off the road and the car caught on fire and they didn't make it out, and it's just a tragic situation. And shortly after that, the Lord started giving me words to a song called "A Letter from Heaven," and it's talking about somebody that's gone on to be with the Lord. If they could only send a letter back home to their friends and family and other people here on the earth, and let them know exactly what all's going on in heaven and how great it is and how you shouldn't worry. And it was just a song to give, I believe, that to give her peace, to help her get through that situation, because I wouldn't ever want to know what that feels like at all. So I believe, and she's told me, that it has been such a big help to her and help her get through it, and just a big comfort to her.
Well, let's take a look at that then, or listen to it rather.
Yes, sir.
This is "A Letter from Heaven." It's Freddy Redmon on the 9 o'clock news local edition on Rock 93.7. The 9 o'clock news local edition on Rock 93.7. It's Greg in with you, and I am sitting down this week with Freddy Redmon, and we are talking gospel music tonight. More gospel or contemporary Christian? Which way do you lean?
It's a mixture of both, I would say. I mean, I'm more of a, I guess, country sound, because that's just what I've always been my whole life. But,
well, gospel, you have the whole kind of, not to say that there's a big separation, but it's a little bit more, it puts into the mind of like maybe church setting type,
right.
More traditional, I think is what I want to use there. Whereas contemporary, that's some of the newer things, and it has flavors.
Right.
There for a while, it kind of was just Christian poppy, but country. It's kind of played a role in that. And I think what's interesting, you said you started out playing country music.
I did, yes.
And then kind of crossed over. Why I find that interesting, a lot of big name country artists over the years have crossed into playing gospel type music and stuff.
Yes.
You can go and find some great recordings from the likes of Johnny Cash and a few others. So it's always kind of been close to being in the country area.
Right.
I think a few people would agree with that. So not major jump for you in the making of your music.
Right, no.
As far as having to learn new stuff, new styles, or anything like that.
No.
but the lyrical content.
Right. The lyrical content is a big change.
It's a lot, cleaner? Let's go with that.
Yeah, let's go with cleaner for sure.
A lot friendlier, to be certain. How long have you been actually making music?
Since I was a young boy, I guess 10 or 11.
Who were your influences early on?
Probably George Strait, of course Alan Jackson some, and Joe Diffie, and I always loved to hear Joe Diffie sing. I thought he had one of the greatest voices ever. And when I used to hear him sing, he just had one of those voices that would just melt you.
He's got one of my personal novelty favorites, what is that? Good Brown Gravy, I think.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Nice little, he had a few others, like Pickup Man or whatever, but still, for whatever reason, fell in love with that. Yeah. I think it was on Third Rock or whatever. So a lot of, I'm hearing kind of 90s country style artists and stuff. So that type of sound plays an impact in what you do now. I'm going to guess
I would say
it's still there.
Right.
It's just the focus has shifted a little bit for you. So sitting down the first time, guitar in hand, you felt moved to go ahead and start writing some Christian lyrics. How did that feel? Sitting down with pen and paper, did you feel a pressure was it like, oh, I hope I don't mess this up?
No, not really. I mean, I went from writing country songs to one day I was sitting down to write a song because I had a lyric come in my head that it was just a line, and that's how I usually write. It's kind of hard for me to sit down and have a writing session, so to speak. Sometimes I can, but most of the time it's inspired, and it just, I believe they're God-given. I believe he inspires me what to write. Because sometimes it's took me a year to finish a song before. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous sometimes, but that's mostly how I write, though. And one day I was, the Lord I felt him nudging me and dealing with me about some things. And I started to sit down and write a country song, and by the time I got through with it, it was a song for him. It was a song about Jesus. So that's, ever since then, I've been writing gospel songs. A little bit of a departure to go from singing about the honky-tonk to that. So, but it sounds like it just kind of has been a bit of a natural fit for you. So yes.
We'll take a look at how many songs you've got written, what your plans are. I know you do have an album. We'll talk about that, too, as we continue on. It is the 9 o'clock news local edition on Rock 93.7. It is the 9 o'clock news local edition on Rock 93.7. Tonight, we have with us Freddy Redmon. We're talking about his music. It's a little bit more in the contemporary Christian gospel, almost gospel country.
Yes.
Is more where we fit this, I think. You come from a country background. You said you'd played with a few bands. How long did you spend playing with bands?
Quite a while, probably 10, 12 years, probably. I think I first started playing out when I was like 17 or 18. I spent a lot of my time growing up at home and locked up in my bedroom, just me and my guitar. As I become a man, I started playing, out and playing with different groups. And
now, have you mostly done guitar for those groups?
Yes, it's mostly been guitar, bass here and there, and
lead vocals or
both. Yeah,
backing and lead. So, what's the farthest you've ever traveled for any performances?
Probably, I would say South Dakota, I guess. That was a pretty good one. That was about 20 hours. So
traveling on the road, how did you enjoy that? Is that?
Yeah, I've always loved that. I've always loved to see things. I just like to see the scenery. I love to go to different places, and I've always just loved traveling. I grew up doing it a lot. I guess maybe why my dad liked to travel a lot, and he would just spur of the moment say, we're going somewhere. So, and we would load up and go. So
adding the music into it, getting a chance to not only get out and travel and enjoy that, but play for other people.
Right. Yeah.
Just kind of adds that extra level to it.
Yes, it does.
You prefer the live performance to the, you said you spent a lot of time growing up just sitting around the room plucking.
Yeah. I mean, I like to, I don't know. I guess it kind of varies, kind of both. I love to get out and play and do it live, because in the live atmosphere, there's something about it. It's different than, but also I like to have my free time to where I'm off to myself, and to where I can just really, it's just me and my instrument and, and the Lord, and I can just get off and have my privacy and just be led to do, just do whatever I feel to do. That my privacy time is very important to me.
So getting out and writing the music and writing the songs, we transferred over, we'd done the country thing, moved into the gospel thing. You said that first time writing a song, it just kind of flowed. It just kind of wasn't supposed to be a gospel song.
Right, yes.
It was supposed to be a country song, and it turned into something else, and that's when you knew maybe this is where music should go. What was the song?
That song is I Owe It All to Jesus.
So that was your very first transition?
That was the first gospel song that I wrote.
And the lyrics, you said they just kind of poured out of you. So did you just kind of go back and read them, kind of like, wow, where did this come from? Or did you just kind of know?
I sat down with my guitar, and usually this is the way it happens. I have a tune in my head already, and it makes its way to my guitar. And when it does, then the lyrics start coming for it. And the very start of the song is, I don't see the man that I once seen in my mirror. And I thought I was just, going to write a country song. I got up one morning, and looked in the mirror in the bathroom. But the Lord really, he took over in that song. And it became about Jesus.
Well, you've brought your guitar with you tonight. So how about if I make you go ahead? Well, I won't make you, but I ask you to go ahead and break that out. And we'll do a little performance here of that song. This is Freddy Redmon on the 9 o'clock news, local edition on Rock 93.7.
I don't see the man I once seen in my mirror. And I'm just not myself these days. There's a change in me. And each mistake I've made no longer haunts my memory. And they're just all that's left of the man I used to be. Oh, and each step I take's not alone. There's someone with me. Oh, he's placed my feet upon
It is the 9 o'clock news local edition on Rock 93.7. This week we have with us Freddy Redmon. We've been talking about your music, how you kind of got into the gospel area. You do have one CD completely put together. What's the name of that?
The newest one, I actually have two.
Oh, you have two?
Yeah, the newest one is called The Good Fight of Faith, and that was the one that
That's the one that we've got, that we've
Right.
been playing tracks off of, The Good Fight of Faith. It's
Yes,
been out
sir.
for just a very short time, though.
Yeah, just a couple of months. Just a couple of months now.
How long did it take to put together?
Well, I did it all. I did everything to it. I did all the music and everything. So it took me probably off and on between, traveling and getting back home and getting to work on it. Probably, I mean, it was at least a year. So it was a lot of work. It may have been longer than that, but.
Was the second CD easier than the first?
Yeah. Actually, the first one, I didn't do all the work on myself. So we just went in, to a studio, and it was in Kentucky. Somebody else did it, but
Well, then going from having help to just doing it all.
to doing it all, exactly.
That's a pretty big step.
Yeah.
Was there a lot of oh no?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of ins and outs and learning, and there's a big difference between playing the live atmosphere and then going back and getting a good mix.
Trying to find the right take.
Right.
So after spending time behind the board, putting it together, getting it produced, you finally got it released. You are online. Where can they find you online?
Yes, at FreddyRedmon.com. That's Freddy with a Y and Redmon.
Go check that website out. You've got links up there to your social media too. 'Cause
Yes.
You're
sir.
also on Facebook. You do the Twitter thing.
Yeah,
You
and
do,
Reverb Nation and places like that.
if it's a place to hang out online these days, you kind of have to get there.
Yeah,
So
you do.
Centralized location though. Just go to your website, Freddy Redmon. Now you have the album up there, both of them up there.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So they can actually preview, or can they just download, or what do they?
Yeah, they can preview and they can purchase there. They can purchase the album there. And
Now you on iTunes, Spotify?
not yet, but we're working on that. We'll be before long.
Okay,
we will
so-
be before long.
Well, you've got another album under your belt. You've got two done now. You just finished this one up. So I'm guessing now the focus is trying to get out and share it.
Yes.
So you got a lot of gigs coming up? Or?
Yes, we're getting really busy this year. We're going to a lot of different places. So it's getting busier and busier.
Well, I appreciate you coming in to share your music with
Yes,
us
sir.
and getting a chance to let you play for us tonight. And they can go find you online, FreddyRedmon.com. Simple place to go. And you put your tour dates where you're going to be at local and
yes.
stuff.
Yeah,
that
all
is
the dates
also
are
on the
there.
website. So check that out too. And we'll be looking forward to great things from you down the road too, Freddie.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
This has been the 9 o'clock news local edition on Rock 93.7.